Hello again from Ray over at Cigar Climatology. Today I wanted to talk some about this new timed humidor fan that I have created so that those of you who purchase one get an idea about how it works and how to program it. As you can see, the unit itself is fairly compact. The intake is here, the exhaust is here, and the timing module is under this cap. In order to get the unit started at home, the first thing you need to do is connect it to a power supply. It's important to note that this runs on 12 volt DC or direct current. It's also important to note that the polarity, or the positive and negative wires, are important also to take note of. If you connect them incorrectly, you can damage either the timer or the fan or both. These are designed for 12 volt DC use, not alternating current, not your typical house current. It requires either a specific 12 volt switching power supply like I use, or you can use an old power supply from a router or one of those other devices, as long as you cut the end off and you identify which is the positive side and which is the negative side of that power supply. So what I'm going to do is demonstrate how to hook it up. I've included these two lever nuts. These lever nuts are easy to operate. As you can see, the internal power of the box is already connected to the lever nuts. In order to connect them, you simply raise one of the levers, and in this case install the positive wire, the red wire, and in the other case install the negative wire. These will generally be wired red and black for positive and negative. This pigtail that I'm using just happens to be green. It really doesn't make much of a difference. What I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the pigtail now to one of my power supplies, and the unit will spring to life. The unit uses what's called a recycle timer, or a timer that, as long as the timer is energized, will continue to cycle on and off, basically for an unlimited number of cycles in time. As long as you plug it in, as long as it's still functioning, obviously, it will continue to turn on and turn off. Now I've set this up for a 5-second interval, just simply to demonstrate the unit and how it works. And what I'd like to do next here is show you how to program the unit. In order to program the unit, the unit does need to be plugged in and operating, and you need to have access to the actual timer. To access the timer, you pull off this end cap, and you'll see the timing module. Move these wires here out of your way so you can see what I'm looking at. We'll zoom down here a bit so you can see what I'm doing. Now what you can see here is that the timer is moving from T1, which is the on timer, to T2, which is the off timer, and simply counting down in seconds. This is a general use timing module, which means it has more than this function, but this is the function that we use in this particular situation and in this application. In order to get into programming, you go over here to this button on your far left, which is the program button, and you'll notice that we are using program 06. You need to keep it on 06. If you change it from 06 to some other number, I cannot guarantee the continued function of the device the way it's designed. By pushing this button, you actually cycle through the different program modes and back to 06. Holding this button resets the program and takes you out of program mode and back into function mode. Hold this button down, go into program mode, move to the T1 timer setting, and we will adjust the time. Now this customer would like this timer set to run 150 seconds on and 450 seconds off, which is a 25% duty cycle. We use this button right here to cycle us through the submenus or to cycle us through the display. And what we're going to do now is get into 150 seconds. So that would be 50, 1. So now we have 150 seconds, and we move on to the next, which is T2. Now this would be the off time. We're going to reduce this down to 0. We are going to move to the next digit. We will move it to 5. Move the cursor again. 3, 4. And there is our 450 seconds. This screen is interesting because this programs the timing unit, the unit on and the unit off base time. One indicates that it's set for 1 second counting. Since these are made in China, I cannot tell you if I move it to 2, whether it's 2 seconds, move it to 3, whether it's 4 seconds. That I do not have an answer for. Typically these units are designed, I set them up to run in seconds. They'll basically run up to 9,999 seconds on a cycle based on the 0101 programming, and that should be sufficient for most people's purposes. Again, the idea is to move air around in the humidor without constantly running the fan and creating heat. So you move some air, you shut it off. You move some air, you shut it off, etc., etc. So this takes us back to the program. We hold, and now you'll see that the program is taken and is operating according to our new program parameters. So this will count down from 150, at which time the fan will shut off, and then it will count down from 450, at which time the fan will shut off. Will come on again. Now, it's important to note that this has a non-volatile memory, meaning as we remove power from it, which is what I've done here, and we put power back to it, the last program remains and it goes right back into the T1 function, which is on for 150 seconds and then off for 450 seconds. We'll zoom back out here. And what we're going to do now is simply put the timer and the fan back together. It's important just to make sure that you don't pinch any wires when you put it back together. You simply snap the box in place, and you're now ready for use. It's a convenient, easy to use package. It's easy to program. It's small. And of course you could get to the inside and you could turn the fan around so that exhausts out the top. But this works best for me. This is what I like. Thanks for watching. If you purchase one of these units, thanks for thinking of me and Cigar Climatology Products, and for purchasing the unit. Have a good day.